Every era of WWE has its defining rivalry. Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant captivated audiences during the Federation years, while Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels changed perceptions of just what a main event superstar looked like during the new generation. Stone Cold and The Rock battled for the top spot during the wildly popular Attitude Era, and John Cena and Randy Orton chased immortality as the face of the Ruthless Aggression period. But today, we want to look at some relatively modern faces and talk about the top 5 rivalries of the modern era. Number 5, Edge vs. Seth Rollins. When you talk about underrated heels, Rollins' name is up there. Rollins is one of the best heels in the business right now, and his role in this rivalry has been perfect. Everyone knows how good Rollins is in the ring, but it seems like his character now is one that has suited him best in WWE. His promos have been some of the best, and if this character needed elevating, then this rivalry did just that. Rollins wanted a Universal Championship opportunity, instead, Edge got it. That right there is your base for the rivalry. It might seem simple, but it's perfect. Then we have Edge, the babyface and fan favorite of this storyline, and even though his best work is when he's a heel, he has done very well in this role. He's a Hall of Fame legend that came back from a near career-ending neck injury, so how can you not cheer for him, especially as the guy he faced was trying to end his wrestling career in order to get a title opportunity. There have been so many things that the Rated R superstar has done right in this rivalry. There aren't many better on the microphone than Edge, and he's shown that in this storyline, he made the WWE Universe actually believe that he wanted to hurt Rollins, and those promos are what helped the fans get so invested in this rivalry. We know how good Edge is, and this rivalry has shown that he can work perfectly as a face or a heel. In a rivalry, the main part is, of course, the matches. The first match was just a classic at SummerSlam, a great wrestling match that ended with Edge coming out on top. Luckily, this rivalry was a best of 3, and the second match came on SmackDown at Madison Square Garden. This time, Rollins won with the stomp, and this then set up a third match in none other than Hell in a Cell. WWE rarely produces a Hell in a Cell match when it is needed, but this stipulation was the perfect end to this rivalry. The match opened Crown Jewel and was the best match out of the 3, with Edge winning after hitting the stomp on Rollins in a 5-star match. The perfect ending to an incredible rivalry. All of these matches were fantastic and kept up with the intensity of the rivalry extremely well. This rivalry was a masterpiece, with great matches that had great spots and promos that were some of the best in WWE. We even saw Brood Edge again at SummerSlam. This was a really fun rivalry, and it's easily the best in WWE this year, and one of the best in wrestling this year. Number 4, Roman Reigns vs. Brock Lesnar. SummerSlam 2021 went off the air with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns staring each other down, a sight the fans have witnessed many times in the past couple of years. Usually Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns sharing the ring draws out a chorus of boos and groans of exasperation, but the last meeting, after Reigns had just demolished John Cena, generated so much hype, and for good reason. Brock Lesnar returned with a new look and sent Heyman into a nervous breakdown at ringside, promising a thrilling ride down the road to Survivor Series. Roman Reigns, on the other hand, had gone through a massive career resurgence, and after proving himself numerous times throughout his villainous run, the Tribal Chief is clearly the biggest full-time star in the company, bar none. Brock Lesnar playing the role of a babyface, going up against a monster heel in Roman Reigns and his advocate Paul Heyman. What started off as a massive push for Reigns in 2015 dragged on way too long, and the program not only led to a severe backlash from the fans for the next face of the company, but Brock Lesnar, easily one of the biggest stars in the history of the company, was pretty much ruined, as he was associated with Reigns consistently, drastically worsening his booking just by mere association. The backlash against Roman Reigns started a few months after the split of the Shield. Many fans were aware that Reigns was the one to replace John Cena, and Vince McMahon was going to ram the powerhouse of the Shield down their throats for the next decade at the very least. Roman Reigns won the 2015 edition of Royal Rumble to a chorus of heavy boos. Even the appearance of the ultra-popular superstar The Rock could not sway the crowd to the side of Roman Reigns. Many assumed that Reigns winning the title at WrestleMania 31 was a foregone conclusion, as Brock Lesnar seemed keen on having one more run in the UFC. However, just days before the mega event, and after much speculation by fans, Brock Lesnar went on ESPN and confirmed that he had inked a new deal with the WWE. The match was now unpredictable, and the fans were firmly behind Lesnar. The main event was a largely entertaining affair, and the ending rocked the wrestling world as Seth Rollins cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase and left the ring as champion. Fans heaved a sigh of relief under the impression that the Reigns experiment was a failure and they would not have to see him in the main event ever again. Over time, fans started to view Brock Lesnar as a negative to WWE, as he held a world title consistently but rarely appeared on television. Each and every mention of Brock Lesnar was followed by a reminder that he respected no one and therefore the fans should hate him. John Cena, during the build-up to his clash with Lesnar at SummerSlam 2014, brilliantly highlighted that Brock Lesnar, the former UFC champion, was a super athlete and a mercenary, a prize fighter at the core, and the gimmick worked for him. His rivalry with Roman Reigns was where his mercenary character was stripped away, and instead, the company forced the narrative that Reigns was the hero we deserved, one that would get rid of the cancer in the company. Brock Lesnar had always been a very capable in-ring worker, but to generate more hatred for arguably the biggest star in the company, his matches were reduced to suplexes and nothing more. His finisher, the F5, was traded as the deadliest finisher in wrestling as Lesnar ran through the roster, defeating the likes of Strowman and Kane with a single F5 just so he could be fed to Reigns later on. Number 3, Dean Ambrose vs. Seth Rollins. This feud was simply amazing. It was simple and crispy. Seth Rollins betrayed their Shield brother Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose in 2014. Rollins joined the Authority and won the Money in the Bank match with the help of Kane. Ambrose couldn't get over the fact that he was betrayed by someone he called his brother, and he made Seth Rollins' life miserable. Whenever Rollins tried to cash in his contract, Ambrose shows up and makes a failure out of him. They had a series of matches where both the stars beat the hell out of each other, Ambrose becoming the top babyface and Rollins becoming the top heel in the company with this feud. The first chapter ended inside Hell in a Cell, which Rollins won after Bray Wyatt attacked Ambrose. But in 2015, after Rollins won the WWE Championship, Ambrose came again and tried his hands on him, which led to the TLC match at Money in the Bank 2015, which again was won by Rollins. Finally, after 1 year, Ambrose cashed in his Money in the Bank contract on the champion Rollins and became the WWE Champion for the first time. It would be interesting to see the rebirth of this rivalry with Ambrose as the heel and Rollins as the babyface. Number 2, AJ Styles vs. John Cena. This feud was exactly what AJ Styles needed when he came to the WWE. The face of WWE vs. the face of indie wrestling, it was perfect on paper, and these two superstars delivered it. In 2016, after losing to Reigns twice, people were a little concerned about Styles. Everyone wanted to know what WWE had in store for the phenomenal one next. Cena returned after taking a long break. Styles came out to shake his hand on his return and unexpectedly turned heel, and he beat up John Cena with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, his buddies from the New Japan Pro Wrestling. Styles and Cena had a match at Money in the Bank where Styles beat Cena with the help of Gallows and Anderson. In their second match at SummerSlam, they delivered a classic where Styles beat Cena clean. This was the passing of the torch moment, as Cena left, leaving his armband inside the ring. After that, Styles went on to become the WWE Champion and called himself the face that runs the place, which was Cena's catchphrase. Finally, they meet up again at the Royal Rumble 2017, 1 year after Styles made his WWE debut. The two again delivered a classic, only this time WWE title was on the line and Cena beat Styles. This rivalry made Styles the star he is today in WWE. Number 1, Cody Rhodes vs. Roman Reigns. Now for our last shot, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. Like Reigns, Rhodes is also from a famous wrestling family. His father was Dusty Rhodes and his brother is Dustin Rhodes. He first debuted in WWE in 2007, working alongside his father who trained him. He was also in a tag team with his brother at various times in their careers as the Rhodes Brothers. Cody Rhodes and Goldust and Stardust. In 2016, Rhodes left WWE due to frustrations over his Stardust character and storylines. Last year, most wrestling fans believed Cody Rhodes would finally beat Roman Reigns and win the title. The story was there. The build-up was perfect. It made sense. Rhodes returned to WWE, established him as a worthy opponent through his feud with Rollins, wrestling through such a nasty injury, and winning the Royal Rumble in his successful return. He fit the underdog role so well, the heroic good guy that has the audience's full support going against all the odds in taking on the big bad undefeatable champ. Alas, it wasn't meant to be. Despite having Reigns on the ropes, so to speak, Rhodes couldn't get the pin due to interference from Solo Sikoa. There he was, lying in the ring, defeated, mocked further by someone throwing a rubber chicken in. It was the ultimate devastating loss. But Rhodes didn't give up. Instead, he spent a year completing side quests via a feud with Brock Lesnar and a brief tag team with Jey Uso. Step by step, he rebuilt his reputation and confidence, getting the crowd to back him even more fiercely than before. Then he went and won the Royal Rumble for the second year in a row, a feat only Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, and Stone Cold Steve Austin have achieved before now. It seemed obvious Rhodes would challenge Reigns again to finish the story, but The Rock's returned through a spanner in the works. For a very brief moment, it was going to be The Rock vs. Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania XL, but there was rather a lot of backlash over the decision. The crowd was rooting for Rhodes so hard that Triple H admirably readjusted and settled on Rhodes vs. Reigns at WrestleMania. On the road to WrestleMania, we saw many intense and personal promos from Rhodes. It's no secret that his main motivation for winning the Undisputed Championship was to fulfill the dream that his father never got to achieve. Dusty was renowned for getting screwed out of the title, so his son wanted to win it for him. There was, of course, the element of taking down the bloodline as well. They'd hurt so many babyfaces over the past couple of years in a multitude of cruel ways that warranted revenge via taking their tribal chief's belt, and this responsibility fell to Rhodes. However, the turning point which made the feud truly personal was the pre-WrestleMania press conference segment between Rhodes, Reigns, Seth Rollins, and The Rock. In this, Reigns and The Rock dismissed Rhodes, seeing him as a lesser opponent because of missing his chance in 2023. Reigns claimed he was irrelevant, just like his dad. Now, you could come for Cody, but if you come for his dad, you better expect him to snap back. Which he did, claiming that Reigns and The Rock's grandfather would be ashamed if he could see them both now. A brawl between the four wrestlers ensued, and it was after this point that the promos got more emotionally charged. Once the Rhodes vs. Reigns main event was confirmed, Rhodes went on to discuss how he wanted to win the belt to hand it to his mother because he couldn't hand it to his father in a cheer-jerking promo. The Rock then responded by referring to him as a crybaby along with his fans, insulting both Rhodes and Rollins in a classic Rock concert, and threatening Rhodes' mother with the promise of handing her his own belt covered in her son's blood at WrestleMania. Oh, and he beat him up in the parking lot for a good while too. It's interesting that The Rock had more screen time shooting back at Rhodes than Reigns did in the build-up to WrestleMania. I mean, it's The Rock, for God's sake. You're gonna want him on screen as much as possible when you've got him. But I think it did a great job of representing Reigns losing his handle on his power and status as the tribal chief. In retrospect, it makes sense that he lost his title when he's finally showing a level of weakness, almost submitting to The Rock.